Can I wash your car for $5,000? My sister is sick. Those trembling words fell from the young boy's lips as he stood barefoot beside a dusty roadside, clutching a cracked plastic bucket, never knowing the man he was speaking to was a billionaire who owned half the buildings on that street. The boy wasn't begging for money. He was begging for a chance, begging for hope, begging because his sister was in a hospital bed fighting for her life. And $5,000 meant survival. His eyes were swollen from tears, his voice shaking. Yet his spirit refused to break. And the billionaire, immaculately dressed, powerful and feared in boardrooms, froze, watching this determined boy offering to wash his luxury car for $5,000, a request so desperate it pierced through every wall he had built around his heart. A billionaire who always believed money revealed a person's true intentions, now confronted by a boy who believed love could save a life. Why would a young boy ask to wash a car for $5,000 instead of begging? Why didn't he know he was speaking to a billionaire who could change his life instantly? And what will this billionaire do next, when faced with a love stronger than fear, but a situation darker than money alone might fix? The afternoon sun in downtown Dallas beat down like molten fire, bouncing off the windows of glass towers that stretched into the clouds. Cars hummed, businessmen rushed with coffees and suits, and wealth felt almost like air, floating invisible, and unreachable for those who didn't belong. Liam Parker stood at the curb outside his sleek black Bentley, scrolling through urgent corporate messages. Worth billions, feared by competitors, respected by governments, Liam wasn't a man easily moved. His world revolved around calculated decisions, strategic power, and disciplined control. Feelings were luxuries he discarded long ago. At least that's what everyone believed. Across the street, neighbors whispered about him, how he never smiled, never gave handouts, never trusted anyone. They called him ruthless, heartless, a man shaped by money and marble walls. But today, something unexpected happened. A boy, around 12, skinny, wearing faded jeans and a shirt 2 sizes too big, approached with a bucket that had seen better days. His curly brown hair was messy. Dirt stained his hands, and his shoes were so torn that his feet peeked through the holes. Yet there was a fierce determination in his dark eyes, like someone carrying the world's weight on fragile shoulders. "Sir, excuse me, sir," the boy stammered, stepping closer. Liam didn't look up at first. Another street kid? They asked for coins, food, water, never what this child was about to ask for. "Sir, please, I can wash your car. Can I wash your car for $5,000? The boy blurted suddenly, voice shaking. Liam's gaze snapped upward. For a moment he thought he misheard. The boy held out the bucket timidly, like it was his only weapon against a cruel universe. "Did you say $5,000? Liam asked, his tone unreadable. "Yes, sir." The boy swallowed, his throat bobbing. "My sister. She's sick, really sick. The doctor said she needs treatment now or—" His voice broke and he wiped his face quickly as if refusing to appear weak. Liam studied him. Most people asking for money lied beautifully. Manipulation wrapped in emotion. But this child wasn't just emotional, he was broken in a way that spoke of real struggle, real wounds. "What's your name?" Liam asked. "Ethan," the boy whispered. "Ethan Carter. And you think washing my car is worth $5,000? Liam pressed, almost testing him. Ethan nodded, desperate. "I don't want charity. I can work. I will do anything. Please, sir, I need to save her." Traffic noise faded behind them. Pedestrians slowed, glancing curiously. Liam felt a strange sting in his chest, an old ache he buried years ago. Ethan's fingers dug into the handle of his bucket. "People said you're rich." "They said maybe you help sometimes." His voice faltered. "I didn't know you're a billionaire or anything. I just hoped someone kind would listen." That last sentence stung more than Liam expected. Kind. A word he hadn't heard directed at him in years. A faint memory flickered. Him, at Ethan's age, losing someone he loved, begging life for one more chance. He blinked hard, shoving the memory down. "Where are your parents?" Liam asked, keeping his voice steady. "Mom's gone," Ethan murmured. "Dad, he left us." He swallowed. "It's just me and Lily. She's 9. Liam exhaled slowly. 9. A child dying in a hospital bed while her brother fought the world alone. Something twisted inside him. People think the richest never hurt, but Liam knew pain like a shadow. He built his empire because he was terrified of ever being powerless again. Yet here was a boy who had nothing, but still stood tall, still fought, still believed effort meant something in a world that rarely rewarded it. "You think washing a car fixes everything?" Liam asked quietly. "No," Ethan whispered. "But trying is better than watching her die." Silence, heavy, thick. Liam, a billionaire who could sign a check without blinking, found himself unable to speak. This wasn't a child asking for money. This was a brother begging the universe to let love win. And in that moment, Liam realized this encounter wasn't coincidence. It was a reminder, a mirror, a crack in his perfectly guarded armor. But the world was cruel, and kindness came with danger. And not every story with a poor child and a rich man ended with miracles. So Liam asked the question he knew could change everything. "Where is your sister now, Ethan?" Ethan's voice trembled. "At Mercy Children's Hospital." "Please, sir, don't say no. I don't have anyone else." Liam's jaw clenched. He had decisions to make. And somewhere deep inside him, fear and hope collided. But could he trust this boy? Or would helping him open wounds he swore he'd never feel again? Liam's heart thudded once hard, then found its rhythm again. Mercy Children's Hospital. The name alone reached somewhere deep inside him. A place where hope lived in white hallways and pain echoed behind curtains. A place he once stood in, helpless. He cleared his throat and slipped his phone into his pocket. "Get in." Ethan flinched. "Sir?" "Get in the car," Liam repeated, opening the door. "We're going to the hospital." Ethan blinked rapidly, as if unsure whether to believe what he heard. You'll come? For real?" "You want your sister helped, don't you?" Liam said, his voice low, controlled as always. "Then come." Ethan hesitated only 3 seconds before clutching his bucket tighter and scrambling inside the Bentley like stepping into another world. His clothes brushed the leather seats and he froze, terrified he might dirty something that cost more than his life. Liam noticed, but said nothing. He started the engine. Through the window, the city passed by. Tall glass towers, polished sidewalks, people with briefcases and purpose. Ethan's eyes widened at everything, like someone seeing dreams from the outside. Liam drove in silence, but inside his chest something stirred, old and unwelcome. He remembered being a boy sitting beside a hospital bed, holding his mother's hand while machines beeped. He remembered promising himself he would never be powerless again. "Tell me about Lily," Liam finally said, voice quiet. Ethan's eyes lit with devotion. She's the best little sister. She likes drawing stars and angels. She used to run everywhere. She was always laughing, always hugging me." His voice softened, trembling. "Then she got sick. Fever first, then breathing problems. Now the doctors say her lungs are failing." Pain rippled across the boy's face, raw and real. "They said treatment costs $5,000 just to start. I tried lawn work, washing cars, anything. But people tell me go home, say I'm lying. I'm not lying, sir." His voice cracked. "I swear I'm not lying." Liam gripped the steering wheel tighter. "I know." Ethan sniffed. "Sometimes I feel like life only listens to rich people. Like maybe we're invisible." Liam's chest tightened. Invisible. Yes. He remembered that feeling. But no one ever gave him a chance. He clawed to the top alone, and the climb scarred him. "Why didn't you ask charities? Social workers?" Liam asked. "I did," Ethan whispered. "They said there's a waiting list, months." His breath hitched. "Lily doesn't have months." Silence settled again, heavy like weighted cloth. Liam glanced at Ethan. The boy wasn't acting. He wasn't manipulating. He was fighting. And fighting reminded Liam of himself. They pulled into Mercy Children's Hospital. The building stood tall but somehow still humble. Blue glass, white walls, a playground outside that kids rarely had energy to use. Hope and heartbreak lived here in equal measure. Ethan scrambled out, bucket in hand, motioning Liam to follow. His urgency was a storm. Inside, the hospital smelled of disinfectant and faint sweetness. Nurses moved briskly. Parents whispered prayers in corners. Children in wheelchairs rolled by with balloons tied to their chairs. smiles masking battles no child should fight. Ethan rushed to the elevator and Liam followed. A doctor walked past, nodding respectfully. Liam's face known to many in powerful places, though here power felt meaningless. They reached a small room. Ethan paused at the door, breathing hard. "Please, don't say anything mean. She's scared. She needs hope." Liam nodded once. Ethan entered first. A frail girl lay in the bed, dark hair spread across her pillow like silk. An oxygen tube rested under her nose. Her eyes, big and gentle, lifted toward the visitor. "Lily," Ethan whispered, voice softening into love. "I brought someone." Lily blinked. "Hi." Her voice was breathy, but she smiled. "Did you find work?" Ethan swallowed hard. "I'm trying, Lil. I'm trying really hard." Lily's small fingers reached toward him weakly. "I know." Liam watched. The tenderness between them broke something inside him he didn't know was still fragile. His mother once held his hand like that, promised she'd get better, promised life would be okay. Then she never came home again. A nurse entered, noticing Liam's expensive suit, the aura of authority. "Sir, you must be family?" "No," Ethan answered quickly. He's helping." The nurse's eyes flicked between them. "Her treatment paperwork is waiting. Without payment, she will be treated," Liam said, voice firm as steel. Ethan's head snapped to him. Really?" Liam nodded. "But first, I need the full medical file." The nurse blinked, surprised at the commanding tone, then hurried to get it. Ethan's lip trembled. "Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll pay you back one day. I promise." Liam looked at him, seeing not a poor boy, but something rare. "Honor. You're a good brother," Liam said quietly. Ethan shook his head. "I'm just scared." Liam understood fear far better than courage. Fear built his empire. Fear drove his ambition. But here, fear was eating a child alive. Before Liam could speak again, a voice at the doorway cut the air sharply. "What do you think you're doing?" A man, unshaven, eyes cloudy with fatigue or something darker, stood swaying slightly, his shirt wrinkled, his demeanor tense. Ethan's face dropped into dread. "Dad?" Ethan whispered, Liam's jaw clenched. So the father wasn't gone, just absent. The man stepped forward, bitterness radiating from him. "Who's this? Another person you begged from? You embarrassing us now?" Ethan froze, breath trapped in his chest. Liam turned slowly to face the man, eyes cold as winter steel. And in that instant, the room felt like a battlefield. Love, fear, pride, desperation colliding. None of them knew it yet, but this moment would decide more than just Lily's fate. The room thickened with tension as the man stumbled inside. Ethan's bucket rattled on the floor and Lily shrank slightly into her blanket. Liam didn't move. He stood rooted, shoulders squared, gaze as steady and cold as carved obsidian. Ethan's father glared, eyes bloodshot. "Who are you supposed to be? Some rich savior?" His voice was sharp, defensive, poison laced in insecurity. Ethan stepped forward quickly, hands up as if shielding Liam. "Dad, please. He's trying to help." "Don't help," the man barked, bitter laughter spilling out. "No one helps us. Not in this world. No handouts. No miracles. Everything comes with a price." Liam's jaw tightened. He had heard those words before, from hardened men who believed vulnerability was weakness, men who let life break them instead of fighting back. Men he swore he'd never become. "Mr. Carter," Liam said evenly, "your daughter needs urgent care." "I'm arranging it," Ethan's father snorted. "And what? You think that makes you a hero? You think throwing money makes you a—" "It gives her a chance," Liam cut in, voice low but powerful, "which is more than she has right now." The man flinched as if struck. Ethan tugged on his father's sleeve. "Dad, please. Let him help Lily, please." His father stared at him, a flicker of something, guilt, shame, crossed his face, then drowned under anger. "I don't need some billionaire thinking he can judge me," the man spat. Ethan froze. Be billionaire? He turned to Liam, eyes wide, realization crashing in. You're a billionaire? Liam held Ethan's gaze. No pride, no boast, just truth. Yes? Ethan took a shaky step backward, breath catching. The world suddenly felt too large, too unreal. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. I know, Liam replied quietly. Ethan's father scoffed again, but the fight was weakening in his voice. People like you don't care about people like us. People like me were once like you, Liam muttered, almost without meaning to. Ethan stared, startled by the depth behind the words. Lily blinked weakly, confusion in her soft eyes, her tiny fingers brushing her blanket. The nurse returned with documents in hand, pausing at the scene. Liam took the file, flipping instantly to the worst numbers: treatment costs, emergency needs, prognosis. Her condition is critical, the nurse explained gently. Without immediate intervention, her lungs could fail within days. Ethan's knees nearly buckled. No, she can't. Lily opened her eyes fully, fragile voice drifting across the room. Ethan, it's okay. No, Ethan choked. Don't you say that. I'm fixing this, I promised. His desperation tore through the sterile air, raw and sharp. Liam placed the documents on the bedside table. Start the treatment, he ordered. The nurse blinked. You're authorizing payment? Yes, now. Ethan collapsed into the nearest chair, trembling. Tears spilled freely. Lily's small hand reached for him, and he held it as if anchoring her to life. Ethan's father stared at Liam, expression crumbling, pride draining like sand through fingers. He swayed, then turned away, rubbing his face as if trying to hide everything he had become. Why? He whispered, voice breaking. Why would you help us? The question wasn't angry now, it was broken, defeated, aching. Liam didn't answer immediately. He looked at Lily, then at Ethan, at the fierce loyalty holding a family together by threads, then at the father who had once been strong, somewhere far before life crushed him. I lost someone once, Liam finally said quietly, someone who didn't get a chance. Silence. Ethan's eyes widened with realization. Liam was not saving them out of ego. He was saving the child he once couldn't save. Emotion flickered in the billionaire's expression, brief but real, like a sealed vault opening a fraction. But vulnerability wasn't safe. So Liam straightened his suit, shielding his heart again. This isn't charity, he said firmly. It's an investment in human life. Ethan nodded rapidly as if afraid the moment might vanish. I'll work every day. I'll pay you back. I don't know how, but You don't owe me money, Liam interrupted. Just keep believing she can get better. Those words stunned everyone, including Liam himself. A soft beeping sound filled the room as machines came to life, nurses moving quickly. Hope replaced fear like dawn pushing away night. Ethan looked at his sister, tears streaming down his face. We're gonna beat this, Lily, we are. Lily smiled faintly. Because someone listened to you? Ethan nodded, voice trembling. Yeah, someone listened. Liam watched, an unfamiliar warmth creeping into his chest. But as hope grew, doubt crept into a shadowed corner of his mind. This was only the beginning. Medical treatment wasn't magic. Even money failed sometimes. And then his phone buzzed, blaring like fate intruding. A text from his head of security. Sir, urgent matter. You need to see this. Liam's face hardened slightly. Brow tightening, trouble, pressure, the outside world calling him back to power and consequences. He slipped the phone away, gaze shifting to Ethan. Stay with your sister, Liam said. I'll return shortly, but you're coming back, right? Ethan asked, fear sparking. Liam paused. Yes, he said. He walked out with controlled steps, but inside a storm brewed. Helping them meant stepping back into vulnerability, into hope. Dangerous territory for a man who survived by refusing to feel. In the hallway, he exhaled slowly. He thought he came here to save a child, but maybe, just maybe, this child was saving him too. The hospital hallway stretched long and bright, yet heavy with quiet battles happening behind closed doors. Liam walked slowly, every echoing footstep pulling him between two worlds. The powerful life he'd built out of steel and numbers, and the fragile human place he thought he'd left forever. His phone buzzed again, another message, urgent, security concern at corporate tower, potential breach. Normally he would have turned on his heel without hesitation, But today his feet didn't obey. Something weighed heavier than any billion-dollar threat. He exhaled, long and shaken. Why am I here? Why can't I just leave? Because Ethan's eyes, filled with stubborn hope and fear, reminded him of someone he used to be. And Lily's tiny hand, fighting and fragile, reminded him of someone he once lost. He headed back toward the room, but as he approached, he heard voices. Ethan's father, low and anguished. Ethan's voice, tired, breaking but fighting. A nurse murmuring reassurance. A young girl breathing through oxygen, holding on to life like a whisper. Liam paused, unseen. "Dad," Ethan said, voice raw. "I don't hate you." Silence, thick as grief. "Even when you gave up, I couldn't. I had to keep trying. For Lily." His father sniffed, sounding older than his years. "I wasn't strong like you, son. You were strong once," Ethan whispered. "You just forgot how." The man broke. Soft sobs, that quiet, helpless kind that scraped the soul. The sound hit Liam like a punch. He had never heard his father cry. Never heard regret. Only silence, abandonment, and a boy's promise to never need anyone again. Liam pushed the door open. Ethan looked up fast, eyes red but full of fierce determination. Lily lay still, breathing deeper now, more stable. Small life fighting with new strength. "You came back," Ethan whispered. "Almost in disbelief, I said I would." Liam replied simply. Lily's father wiped his face. "I don't know how to thank you." "You don't need to," Liam said. "Just show up for your kids now." The man nodded slowly, shame and resolve mixing inside him like a storm turning into a sunrise. Ethan stepped toward Liam, hesitant, like approaching a sacred thing. "Sir, what you did today, so nobody ever did something like this for us." Liam swallowed hard. He wanted to say something powerful, precise the way he spoke in boardrooms. Instead, truth slipped out raw and quiet. "When I was your age, I wanted someone to show me life wasn't only pain." Ethan blinked, stunned. "But no one did," Liam continued. "So I swore I would become strong enough that nothing could hurt me again." He looked at Lily, now sleeping peacefully, hope resting on her small face. But strength without heart is emptiness. Ethan's voice shook. "You saved my sister." "No," Liam said. "You did. I just gave you the chance." Ethan stared at him, eyes filling again, but not with fear or desperation. With gratitude. With belief, a doctor entered quietly. "Treatment has started. Early signs are positive. She has a real fighting chance." 2 words hit like thunder. Fighting chance. Ethan covered his mouth, overwhelmed. Their father's knees buckled again, but this time in relief, not defeat. Liam turned to leave, instinct pulling him back to power, to the empire waiting for him. But Ethan caught his sleeve, small fingers gripping a world he didn't want to lose. "Sir," Ethan whispered, voice trembling with something words couldn't hold. "Will I see you again?" Liam froze. His life was built on distance, walls, calculated exits, never attachments. Yet walking away suddenly felt like the weakest thing he could do. "Ethan," he said softly, "you have someone who needs you more than I ever will." He nodded toward Lily. "Be her strength." "I will," Ethan said fiercely. "But," Liam continued, and the boy looked up with wide hope. "I'll come check on her. And you." Ethan's face broke into a trembling smile. Not the kind born from relief, but from being seen. Truly seen. Lily stirred slightly. Ethan hurried to her side. Liam reached into his pocket, pulling out a card. Not a business card, but a plain white one with a direct number only 5 people in the world had. "When you need help," he said, placing it gently on the bedside table, "call. Not for money, for guidance." Ethan stared at it like it was a treasure more valuable than gold. Their father looked at Liam with gratitude shaped by humility. "I'll be better. I promise." Liam nodded once. "Do right by them. That's all the thanks I need." He turned to leave. At the doorway, Ethan called quietly, "Sir?" Liam stopped. Ethan swallowed. "Can I ask you something?" "Yes. If I had known you were a billionaire, would you still have helped me?" Liam paused, because the truth mattered. "You didn't see money when you looked at me," Liam said. "You saw hope. That's rare." He held Ethan's gaze. "And yes, I would have helped you anyway." Ethan's shoulders eased, heart swelling with dignity and tact. Liam stepped into the hall, the door closing softly behind him. As he walked away, his phone buzzed again, crisis demanding him. But this time, the sound didn't control him. He glanced back once, at the door behind which two siblings held on to life and love like warriors. Then he walked forward, not to escape himself, but to finally become something more than what the world forced him to be. Not just a billionaire, a man with a heart rediscovered,